I was in the process of appealing this on Friday. I was going back and forth with Nathan.
Appealing.
Appeal for a pizza. And
Oh, so they denied him?
No, we're almost there. Pizza, the decision, and then this came. So I'm really excited to talk to you. I told him about this on Friday. And he drove straight to the pretrial services. I think that was but that's what's going on. I'll let him just tell you.
So, but I don't understand what you're saying about appealing. What are you?
No, I'm doing a P-tip appeal because he's not necessarily allowed to P-tip what the situation is. So I did.
You mean you're doing a mitigation packet?
I already did. Everything's turned in. I did everything mitigation packet.
They said yes.
I don't know yet.
Oh, you don't know.
We're going back and forth, and then I stopped that because I literally I got that report right then and there. I was going back and forth with Nathan on Sunday.
Do you guys have any guidance on Burroughs? It looks like he's filed for the diversion program for the DWI.
Amanda?
Or just whether he's been accepted into the program?
No, are you Amanda? I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Oh,
She works for the recovery unit.
Okay.
So I believe that Nathan he was waiting because there was a previous DWI that was filed out of county, and he was waiting to receive the OR from that previous DWI. Because we don't know, it might have been dismissed.
No, it was dismissed. I gave him the dismissal paperwork, and it was because there was nothing on it.
But I still have to know too, so I can take the appropriate action as far as bond condition.
I'm happy to email Nathan right now. I think we just received the OR this morning.
Where from and when?
From Galveston County. Let me look for the judge.
This case has been open since June. I'm just now finding out that he had.
I didn't know it either because he thought it was expunged because it says interest adjustments, no evidence for DWI. Basically, it was like he had no, it was nothing, just got thrown out. So that being said, he said he didn't do anything. That's whatever. That's that. But
yeah, I think it had been. I think that we are all in agreement that it was dismissed. I think Nathan just wanted the copy of the offense
What
report.
year was it?
1 second, Judge. Yes, Judge, the DWI is from 2019.
Yeah, I probably would have put an interlock on him.
but the reasoning on the dismissal, they put it on there.
And now he's still consuming alcohol, Mike.
That's what I'm saying. He's here to tell you. I don't believe that's the case. He swears up and down he didn't.
I have a scram.
I understand that. And he puts a crazy amount of makeup on him, and the alcohol, I give you the pictures of it also. It's called alcohol what's it called? Hang on. He can explain it to you, but I have it here.
I have pictures of.
The nature alcohol can be mistaken for alcohol consumption. I know.
I have these pictures. It has no date. It has no.
To give you context to it, I have the dates here. Those are just pictures of the close-up makeup, but he was DJing on those particular dates. And I have it right here because I was trying to get up in the club.
And I guess drinking while DJing, right?
No, he said he wasn't. I mean, you talked to him. I wasn't there. It was DJ Sidney Ray, October 31st at this place, and that was the day in question. And then this is October, this one, I'm sorry.
Okay, so
October 27th.
I have here that you're consuming alcohol. I have here that the consumption is October 26th.
Yeah, that's I believe
October 30th.
and November 9th.
November 9th. Oh, and October 9th. So
That was, yeah.
I have 4 different events that you're consuming alcohol.
For October 9th, Your Honor, that was whenever you told me to put the scram on, and I put the scram on right after that. And then those other 3 dates.
So you're allegedly consuming alcohol the day I tell you to put it on.
No, he did it. That's the day, and then he put it on. No, that's the violation. We addressed that.
I have a positive for alcohol on the 9th of October.
Not from the scramble thing.
Yes.
October 26th.
I sent him on 10/9. So Felicia,
Yes, Judge.
So we sent him for a POC test on 10/9 on that time. Did he test positive for alcohol?
Yes, Judge.
Why on earth are we just now getting the violation?
The violation
No.
was already addressed.
That was addressed.
Yes, that violation was already addressed in a previous BVR. They started to put it in that section, that's why I didn't highlight it, but
Did I address that BVR?
yes, and that's when we amended the conditions to put a scram.
Okay, so now we have alcohol consumption as a second violation on top of all this.
For the scram itself.
I've been very grateful for the second chance you gave me. That was from the makeup that I applied to myself, and I was just ignorant to the fact that that would actually set off my scram device, but I have not consumed another alcoholic beverage at all. Those are also the days that I was working, I was entertaining, I did not consume another alcoholic beverage at all, so I've been very grateful. I'm not stupid, I wouldn't consume another alcoholic beverage after you put the scram device. in the
Mr.
cell.
Burrows, I told you at every single stage of this game, do not put anything into your body that could be positive for alcohol. It is your responsibility to know what you can and cannot use. You're old enough to know that actions have consequences.
Yes,
And
sir.
here we are. I've already let you go one time with a positive for alcohol. When I told you not to consume, you literally tested positive on the day that we sent you for the test. And now we have another 3 positives for alcohol.
I don't think that's all, that's the part, the other parts, yeah, but the first part, that's not, he didn't test positive.
He tested positive 10/9.
No, that was,
It was a positive urinalysis test, and because of that, we amended the.
And because of that, I amended the conditions. I did not put him in jail. I put the scram on him.
yeah, but we addressed that he didn't go in and like.
I got it.
It's not 2 tests, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
You're right.
but he's continuing to consume.
So, yeah.
Stephen,
The scram reports are also in your email, I'm not sure if you picked them, but we got the names of the records as well for all of those dates.
have you seen that?
I mean, I have whatever I was sent yesterday.
That's it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bros. What am I supposed to do? Just let you go again?
No, sir, I'm not asking to, and I did not consume any alcohol. It was just yes, sir. The products that I put on, and I just was not aware that that was set off that. And it was makeup, sir. That's all it was. I didn't consume an alcohol beverage at all.
That party is 10:31 and I have here 10:26, 10:30, and you're telling me that you put this makeup on November 9th? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, sir. It's for my TikTok, and I have the videos of it also, sir. I do cosplay, and I just put on those products, and that was the sweat from it. I had no idea that that would actually get inside my blood system and and set that off.
You have levels?
Yes, they're in the scram report.
What is it?
I have.
It's like a peak of 0.08, and then. So
He's a 0.08.
Yes.
You're telling me that makeup made you a 0.08?
Yes, sir. And those are the days I was at work.
I don't believe it for a second.
I even have,
I don't believe it for a second. I'm sorry. A
Understand.
0.08 because of makeup?
yes, sir. I understand. I promise you I have not consumed alcohol at all.
I'm sorry, dude.
I
That's
understand.
it.
Yes, sir. I understand.
It's with you.
I understand, yes, sir.
And possibly believe that makeup is going to make you as intoxicated as having 6 to 8 drinks. ¿Qué has hecho cerca de este caso?
Mandé a hacer las placas.
Prueba.
No, le mandé a la señora.
Cuando tú haces cualquier cosa con el DPS o DMV, te dan prueba. Un email, receipt, algo te dan. Muéstrame algo que tienes, que has hecho.
Pregunté a la señora que es la que me está tramitando la placa y me dijo que no tiene nada, que a ella no le dan información.
So,
Sí.
no has registrado entonces. Solamente hiciste una pregunta.
No registré.
Pruébamelo entonces.
Tengo mensajes de texto con la persona, la gente que me está haciendo el trámite.
Muéstramelo.
Okay, ¿puedo ir por mi teléfono?
I'm not going to take his word that he's just asking questions. I want some kind of proof that he's doing something, you know? Yeah, I mean, go get your boy, see what he's doing.
You want to bring back these? Oh, okay.
Typically, Victor, as long as they start registering and you have proof,
I understand.
that's good enough.
My understanding is that he's going through somebody else to get the process done for him.
Ahí están los mensajes. Entonces, cuando le hice el pago, mandé toda la información.
So, I don't know if you want to see this, Judge. This is text message string. This is the inspection that he did that he sent to the lady who's doing the process for him.
Ayer mismo le pregunté si tenía.
So this is the actual registration?
That's the person who's doing the process for him. So he's sending her all the information. She's doing it for him.
I don't understand why he can't.
Whatever he feels comfortable doing, Judge, I don't know.
We got to put a time limit on this thing. It's
Understand.
200 days. I mean,
Understand.
it's,
I'm only asking for one more reset.
how long do you want?
My last person was reset to December the 17th.
That day, if it's not done, it's plea or trial. I'm not going to give you any more. Tú no tienes más tiempo para la próxima vez que tú regreses aquí. Si no lo tienes hecho en total, no me importa un coco que tienes que hacer. Jurado con juicio la próxima vez. ¿Entiendes, Méndez? Okay.
Understood.
All right.
Appreciate it.
SFBF, please, Jermaine.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Yeah.
Ms. Zuniga on page 30 is the first one.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Hey, happy hump day. Wednesday. So we have is it Magali Zuniga?
Yes.
Ms. Zuniga, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
The officer initiated a traffic stop after observing the defendant weaving between lanes and disregarding a traffic control device on an exit ramp. The defendant stopped her vehicle in the middle of a moving lane of traffic on the entrance ramp to Katy Freeway, and upon contact, the officer observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage and glossy eyes. The defendant admitted to drinking a couple beers and stated that her last drink was at 9 p.m. and that she believed the current time was 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. It was actually 1 a.m. Center field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 6 out of 8, one leg stand 4 out of 4. The DIC was read and breath was refused. A blood warrant was signed and executed.
Okay. Can you look to see if there are any prior DWIs, please?
There are no prior DWIs, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Zuniga, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license? Can you get a license, Alex, please?
No.
Do you have valid liability insurance in your name? Okay, you're not allowed to drive unless you have both, but I am now placing a restriction on you and your bond that you're not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol and kind of illegal drugs, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
I understand.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it's your responsibility to stay in touch with them, and he'll tell you when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. So don't get in any trouble. Don't use, and just stay in contact and everything will be fine. All right. We'll have you sign a reset with Jermaine. We'll have you get with Fleischer for your bond conditions. And then after that, you guys are free to go.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Great to see you.
Blake Jenkins.
Okay.
Mr. Jenkins, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with 2 counts of terroristic threat. Was he on bond for this case? And then he picked up a new case?
Yes, Your Honor. It appears so, that he was on bond for the.
He was literally on bond, and then a week later, he picks up a new case. Don't. Are you here with anyone today?
Yes, just it appears correct. He was on bond and then he picked up the new case.
So as what I see, he picks up his first terroristic threat. We gave him a PR bond on November. So tell me if I'm wrong. So check this out. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it looks like both of these were just both 2Bs, meaning warrants had been issued, and he had not been picked up. This is Jenkins. And it looks like we picked him up all at one time, and he was given a PR bond on November 13th.
On the terroristic threat?
On both cases, they're both terroristic threats.
Yeah, because it would have taken a month for him to get arraigned, so it must have been.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. There were.
Okay, so he was not on.
No, he was not. There were both 2Bs, Your Honor.
Now, do you guys know the relationship of Ryan Kalal?
He was just a member at the gym that the defendant attends.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and do probable cause on both cases.
Okay.
So Mr. Jenkins, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with 2 counts of terroristic threat. One is against a family member. So on that one, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. Your other case is just against a garden variety civilian. So on that one, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
So for the terroristic threat involving a family member, the complainant and the defendant are brothers. The officer was dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in response to a family disturbance. The defendant was removing the complainant's belongings from the residence and putting them in the back of his own vehicle to prevent the complainant from getting his things. The complainant tried to remove his things from the back of the vehicle when the defendant stated, "I will kill you." The complainant was in fear for his life when the defendant said this. The defendant also later texted the complainant that if he touched his things again, that he would cause him severe pain. And then for the other terroristic threat on October 26, 2024, the officer was dispatched to Crunch Fitness in regard to a terroristic threat. The officer made contact with the complainant. The complainant, the manager at the gym, stated the defendant was involved in verbal and physical altercations with other members, and multiple complaints were filed. The complainant stated that the defendant's membership was canceled due to the issue with other members and the defendant making threats. The defendant then continued acting aggressively after finding out this information and caused a disturbance by screaming and cursing loudly. The complainant told the defendant he needed to leave and not return. The defendant became more agitated, left the business, but returned multiple times. The complainant stepped out with the defendant and told the defendant repeatedly not to return. The defendant responded multiple times he was going to come back to the business and kill the complainant.
All right. So Mr. Jenkins, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on both of your cases. I'm now ordering you on both of your cases not to have contact with each of those witnesses and not to go where they either live or where they work. Do you understand? In the first case against your brother, a protective order has been issued. So I would get to know that protective order, because if you violate the protective order, they will file additional charges against you. You violate those conditions, I can hold you at no bond zero bond until this case is over with. And I want you to know that I will protect every single person of Harris County by all means necessary. And if that means putting you in jail, locking you up at $100,000 bond, $50,000 bond, 2,000, whatever it may be, it's going to happen. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons as well. You're not to go back to Crunch Fitnesses also. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You pick up any known cases, violate even one iota of these conditions, I'm going to keep you with me. And I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be high. And if you don't have anyone to pony up that kind of money, $10,000 to get you out, you will be stuck like Chuck in custody until these cases are over with. And I'm going to tell you, it takes damn near 9 months just to get a 911 tape. Do you understand? How old are you? What do you do for a living?
I worked in catering, and then now I'm doing solar. So I'm a sales representative.
What kind of money you make a month?
I haven't made any money. Right now I'm living off unemployment checks because the money I had from my last job ran out, and the money that I'm making on my new job is all commission. So I have to close the deal before I have any income.
Who are you living with?
I'm actually living in my car at the moment.
Okay. I'll have you fill out an application for an appointed. Actually, let me see your name. On this application, you says your spouse's salary is $10,000 a month. What does that mean?
My what?
It says under spouse's salary, $10,000. You make a total income of around $11,000 a month.
Did I fill that out? I didn't fill that out.
I'll have you fill out a new one then.
Okay.
So you're living in your car.
Yes.
How is that?
I mean, it's fine as long as it's not too high.
Sucks. Sucks to live in your car, doesn't it?
I mean, I don't have any money, so I mean, it's better than the street.
What I'm trying to tell you is that when you're living in someone's house, under their roof, don't bite the hand that feeds you, because
Brother that I got.
register what I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Jenkins. If you're under someone else's roof and they're kind enough to take you in, when you bite the hand that feeds you or burn a bridge, you never know when you may need to cross that bridge. Now you've burnt the bridge, you can't even cross that bridge. You're living in a car. Living in a car sucks. So be nice. It's not hard, especially when you're living under someone else's roof. It's not that hard. And if you get into an issue where you fight with someone or you're upset, walk away, find another release. Do you understand what I mean? It's not hard. Be nice. Do you mind giving an application? I'm going to have you fill out this application because I need to know everything about you as far as money wise. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Jermaine, and then I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box where we get all your orders ready, and we'll find you a lawyer. Okay? Okay.
So I'll be having court today.
Yeah, I'm going to have you talk to a lawyer today. So don't leave until I excuse you.
Our last one, Your Honor, is Mr. Walker on 28.
So on both of those, no contact, no weapons, and no going to Crunch Fitness, and please.
Yes, Judge.
You, Johnny Walker.
Gentlemen.
Mr. Walker, you're charged with driving on a suspended license. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The officers were dispatched to a minor accident in Harris County, Texas. The defendant provided the officer with his driver's license, which returned as not eligible. The officer noted that the defendant's license has a mandatory suspension with no lift date. The defendant also admitted to not having insurance on the vehicle.
All right. Mr. Walker, do you have a Texas driver license?
Not a license ID, I have.
You're not allowed to drive. If you drove here, you're not allowed to drive home. I will have you now sign an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. I don't know what you're doing in your life. I don't care who you're talking to, what you need to do. Nothing at all can ever now justify you getting into a car and driving. If you do, this is an affidavit. you are in violation of the affidavit, and I can have a hearing to hold you in contempt of court and slap you with an additional 6 months of jail and a $500 fine every time you drive, because it's an offense in and of itself. So if you drive 5 times, I will have 5 contempt hearings. Do you understand? If you want to drive, go get a license, get liability insurance, and then we can talk, and I will happily take this off. But if I find that you drive, there will be HE double hockey sticks to pay.
Your Honor, the defendant said he has questions.
About an occupational license, what, do you have any information I could?
I cannot give you legal advice.
Okay.
What I would do first and foremost is go get your license. That's what you need to do. So you need to really do the legwork, call DPS and find out what you need to do. Don't take a half-ass approach, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to take the easy way out, and that's not the way to do it. You need to call DPS. I will even give you the number to DPS for you to call. That's the number to the driver's license division to DPS. When you call them at 7 o'clock sharp, as soon as the phone line's open. Don't call at 702, 905, 142, because you will never get through. I'm telling you this from past experience. The only time I ever got through was to call right when the phone line's open, which is at 6:59 to 7 o'clock, because then you'll get through to be able to talk to someone. Call them and say, okay, this is my number. This is who I am. What do I need to do to get my license back? Has it been more than 2 years since you've had a license? Then you're going to have to retest. You'll probably have to take the driver test just to get it back, not to mention surcharges and everything like that.
Understand.
What we're going to do now is I'll have you sign this affidavit promising us you're not going to drive. I'll get you to Jamay to sign a reset, and then we're going to get you out of here. And when you come back, please have a lawyer, sir.
Mr. Adams on 2 is our next one, Your Honor.
Okay.
I just.
Morning, Mr. Adams.
Good morning.
Mr. Adams, you're charged with possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during any questions and interviews with the state of Texas. If you cannot afford a lawyer, the lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The officer initiated a traffic stop after observing the defendant's vehicle run a red light and travel 73 miles per hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone. Upon contact, the officer observed a strong odor of marijuana and asked the defendant when he last smoked. The defendant stated, "You caught me, I just finished rolling one." The defendant then handed the officer the blunt, and then the defendant gave the officer 2 bags of marijuana, approximately 0.636 ounces of marijuana.
Did you say there was the odor of weed in the car?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Adams, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
Sir,
Run his license, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have valid liability insurance in your name? Are you sure? Do you have car insurance?
yes, sir.
If you don't, you're not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond, Mr. Adams. I want you to understand that I take it extremely serious. If you don't have car insurance, you get into an accident and you maim someone, they're going to come after you, where if you have liability insurance, your insurance takes care of you for all those needs.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not putting any conditions on your bond. Just be careful. Don't pick up any new cases. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. I'm going to have you go to Jamae, sign a reset. After that, we'll just get you out of here. And when you come back, please have a
Thank
lawyer.
you.
Okay? All right, be careful, man.
Bowman. Page 5, Your Honor. Bowman.
Okay? Good morning, Ms. Bowman. Ma'am, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
The complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship and live together. On November 12th, 2024, the officer was conducting a neighborhood patrol and observed an on-view disturbance between a vehicle and a pedestrian. The complainant stated that he and the defendant got into a verbal argument. The defendant hit the complainant approximately 1 time and bit him approximately 2 times on his right bicep, causing pain. The officer observed visible injuries on the complainant's right bicep and his right upper eye. The defendant stated that she bit him because she thought he was going to hit her.
Okay, Ms. Bowman, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Have you guys spoken to this person? Do we know whether he wants to continue to have contact with her or not? I'm sorry? Okay, don't say anything, please. I have a bunch of DAs here, and everything that you say, they're going to use it against you. They sit there, type it, so just don't say anything at this point.
A RIP was performed, Your Honor, and it.
So guys, CW is here if you want to try. Because unless I know that this person wants to have contact with you, I'm going to order you not to have contact with this person. It is a Kevin Callahan. Okay. That's Mr. Callahan with the beard.
Yes.
Right there. Okay. Regardless, even if he wants to have contact with you, I'm ordering you not to have any threatening or harassing contact with him. You need to understand what is threatening or harassing doesn't matter what you think. It's what he perceives. So if I go like this, is that threatening, harassing? It is, and it can land you in jail. Do you understand? Do we know if alcohol had anything to do with this, Alex?
There's no allegation of alcohol, Your Honor.
Okay. The only other thing I'm going to advise you, Ms. Bowman, is that a protective order has been issued in this case. I would get to know the protective order because if you do something to violate that protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you. And a violation of a protective order is one of the worst cases you can pick up in misdemeanor court. You understand? Okay. What do you do for a living?
I work for a consulting company.
And what kind of money do you make a month?
If I keep my job, like 8,000.
Okay, we're going to give you time to hire a lawyer. You don't qualify for an appointed lawyer. So I'll have you sign a reset with Jamae, and then we'll just have you take a seat in the jury box right now while we work out the kinks as far as the no contact order. Okay, please. First, we'll have you sign a reset.
Our next one, Your Honor, is going to be Mr. Cruz on page 8.
Harassing, no way.
Yes, Judge.
Are you Xavier Luis Cruz? Mr. Cruz, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
The officer initiated a traffic stop after observing the vehicle failed to signal a lane change, and the officer detained all occupants in the vehicle because none were wearing seatbelts. The driver of the vehicle gave a verbal consent to search, and the officer searched the vehicle and located a black and red bag located on the right rear passenger floorboard where the defendant was seated. The officer located the following items: a clear baggie containing meth, ice, and Xanax, and 2 baggies and a scale, and 1 Glock 47.
Was he the driver?
He was the rear passenger, and that's where the bag was located, where he was seated.
Mr. Cruz, how old are you, sir?
18.
I'm sending you now for a drug test. You must come right back. When you come back, we'll talk about your lawyer situation. But if you fail to go test, if you fail to come back, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have you sign a receipt with Jermaine, and then after that, we're just gonna have you take a seat while we send you, and then come right back. Don't leave.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Kingpins on 16 and 17 is our next one.
Intoxicated, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out the agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for 1. You need to understand that this charge is going to go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's going to be there, it's even there after you die. This is important because you ever get pulled over again, officers, all they do is they look at your background. And if they see a lengthy background, it's just not going to go well for you. It doesn't matter if you're falling down, piss ass drunk. No, the mere smell of alcohol or dope, you will probably be looking at another DWI. What we're doing today, from now on, here in Harris County, you are facing, or in Texas, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. Do you understand? No more proverbial slaps on the wrist. So if I were you, whatever you're going to do, don't get into a car because it's a humongous liability that you're in, a risk that you're taking. What Max is asking me to do is to take off around $3,500 worth of fines and fees. The idea is that we all make mistakes, right? But you can't keep making mistakes where you endanger other people's lives. It's not fair. When it's so easy to hit one damn button on your phone for $30 to $40, you have a car waiting to take you anywhere you want to go in this. Do you understand?
Yeah, you said.
I want you to understand one more thing. It's unacceptable the way that you have been treating us here in court. You were ordered to get an interlock. You have not had an interlock since August. It's not.
Judge, did have it installed. There was
If it's in lockout.
I understand, and there was
it's as
issue with the money and all that, but yes, sir, we understand.
But you don't wait. If
You communicated it with me, I didn't realize there was another option, Judge, and so I'm definitely taking the heat on that. So I came in to see if we could.
I'm not going to let you. You are old enough to know that if you're ordered to have an interlock and it's not functioning, you're going to upset a judge. Do you understand?
Judge,
Just
I'm gonna have to speak on that one, okay? Because I definitely communicate.
Let me know.
I said I've been employed my whole life. When this stuff started happening, especially with the stuff with the other situation that happened going on, I let him know that I can no longer afford it. I didn't know there was another option.
And I neither. I told her we need.
But and I
since
have
August, she's been in lockout, Max.
I have not drove. I Ubered everywhere I've been.
It's true.
I have.
And I helped her with that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
She has.
So now I'm self-responsibility for it, and I just don't want you to think that I just deliberately disobeyed an order. I didn't have a choice, and I communicated it with him. I'm taking full responsibility. So for you to tell me that, oh yeah, I am old enough.
If you see, and the lawyer has been notified and still nothing is coming of it, you got to come to court. When you have an interlock, it's supposed to be operational. And when it's not, that's a bond violation and it's a continued one,
I understand.
Look,
I'm taking full
I'm
responsibility.
preparing you for the future,
Yes.
Hopefully there is none, but you can't keep.
Also, before all of this and the federal thing, she never been in trouble before. So this has been like.
No, I have an assault from 2010. I've got an ag assault in 2009. I've got a gun case in 2004. So it's not our first rodeo.
Yeah, Judge.
It's not.
Okay.
And just
She's like really upset about
the idea is we all make mistakes, like I told you, but don't make a mistake. I'm sorry. It's not a mistake. They're actions that you take, and you're old enough to know that actions have consequences, right? Especially when you're dealing with alcohol and a 3,000 to 5,000 pound missile that you're in. You could cause catastrophic injury, and that's what we're trying to prevent.
I understand.
All right. I am going to waive the fines and fees now, but you need to understand on a second offense, it's a minimum of $6,000 in surcharges and fines and fees if you pick up another DWI. So when people continue to make actions where they endanger other people's lives, it gets extremely expensive, not to mention costly with jail time. You understand? All right. The agreement you've worked out is 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. You give up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement today, you can never change your mind. You can't say, well, I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't know this. Once you plead guilty, it stays like this forever. Do you understand? You still want to do this? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? I'm going to find you guilty. I will sentence you to it. I'm going to waive your costs, your fines and fees. There is a license suspension that is attached to this. I am going to suspend your license. I'm going to suspend it for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck, man. Thanks, folks. Please see the clerk. Is it Taisha Jackson? Taisha, Miss Jackson, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed for you.
Yes, Judge. The complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship. On January 28th, 2025, the officer was dispatched to a disturbance in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer met with the complainant, who stated that she and the defendant were in a dating relationship and that she told the defendant she was drinking too much. The defendant and the complainant then got into an argument when the defendant punched the complainant twice and bit the complainant on the chin, causing pain.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do we know whether the complaining witness wants to have contact with her or not?
Looks like we attempted this morning, but we're able to get a hold of the complainant.
Okay. I want to do what the complaining witness wants. So until I know that she wants to have contact with you, I'm ordering you not to have contact with this person. Do you understand? Shh. I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. You understand? A protective order has been issued in this case. I would get to know it. If you violate the protective order, the state can and probably will file a violation of protective order. It's one of the worst cases you can pick up. You understand? You know, in life, there are people that when they consume alcohol, they become very happy people. They're the life of the party. Everybody likes to hang out with them. They crack jokes. And then there are people when they consume alcohol, they turn into the devil incarnate. Get a clue. When you drink, this becomes you. For now, though, no consuming alcohol or illegal drugs. You understand? Tell me, do you have an income? Do you have an income? Do you work? What do you do with yourself?
I do hair. I do hair.
Okay.
Work from hair from home.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, or would you like a court-appointed lawyer?
I can have a little
Sorry?
appointed.
You want one? Okay. I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Victoria. I'll have you meet with Felicia for bond conditions, and then I'll have you take your seat in the jury box while I find your lawyer. Okay, ma'am? Please. Good morning, Mr. Kimball.
How you doing?
Pretty good. So I've never met you before. I don't know who you are. All I know is that your lawyer is asking me to, I'm assuming, set him a bond, right? You know, you're wanted from somewhere. I don't know for what. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm going to set you bond. I got to get to know you in the short time that I have you here to see, are you a danger to my community? If we give you a bond, are you going to go back? I have no idea. So let's get to know him. Amy?
Judge, so he's wanted from Guadalupe County, New Mexico, aggravated battery against a household member with a deadly weapon. As the court knows, he's also being held in the 351st for credit and debit card abuse.
No, I had no idea. Say it.
And I believe they also just filed a motion to revoke his probation on fraud use.
He's on probation too.
Yes, and they're motioning to revoke as well. He also has quite a bit of history with burglaries and.
My gosh. Whoa. So since 2007, possession of marijuana, possession of a controlled substance, evading arrest, possession of a controlled substance, felon in possession of a weapon, attempted evading arrest or detention, tampering or fabricating evidence, evading arrest and previous conviction, burglary of a building, possession of a controlled substance, burglary of a motor vehicle, evading arrest, credit card abuse, burglary of a motor vehicle, evading credit card abuse, possession with intent to deliver, and 1, 2, 3, 4. More burglary of a motor vehicles, failure to ID, possession of a dangerous drug. You're on probation for a fraud. You pick up a new credit card abuse, and you want me to set you a bond?
Can I please tell you something? If you don't mind me speaking.
Don't talk about the case.
I'm not talking about no case.
Okay.
I was in here, been held on, the case for defendant violence in New Mexico, right? And they just got called ATW twice. They did not release me. I was not released. They sent me back to my cell. And since they didn't release me, they ended up putting a credit card abuse on me. Now, I don't know, where that falls in or whatever, they just put it on me.
So if I can give you a brief synopsis of the timeline, Judge.
Sure.
So January 15th, he waived extradition for his New Mexico case, which is why we have the fugitive. He also had a Dallas County hold at the same time, which means the Dallas.
Here's another.
True, but Dallas County had 10 days to pick him up. So they did not pick him up in those 10 days. So let's say January.
I know that. I get it.
Let's just say, okay, so they didn't release the whole, they should have released the whole 25th. They didn't. What they did is instead, 3 days later.
Talking the Dallas County hold.
Dallas County hold. So what should have happened is that on the 25th, they released the Dallas County hold, which at that moment, there was no locals or anything pending, and they should have started the timeline for New Mexico to come pick him up. But instead, Dallas did not release the hold until I believe the 29th, because conveniently, on the 28th, the DA's office filed 2B charges on a credit card abuse from a case that they had had since November. So
December. I see here, December 22nd, 2024.
I'm sorry, from December, you're right. So it just seemed like the timeline expired. And I believe Mr. Kimball's just really upset because if it should have worked like it should have worked, then, why didn't they release the hold in time? Why didn't the DA's office file it? It just seems like they're sort of dragging it along. I understand that he does not have a bond on his felony cases, and they did file the MRP. He has an attorney there who is going to be requesting to set a bond there. What Mr. Kimball is asking is a bond here, even though, and I said, he's going to be making the bond there in felony. So let's say his bonds get set in felony and his bond gets set here. He wants to bond out and go to New Mexico, address that case, and then he said he'll be back and forth. He's already got the MRP and the felony credit abuse case here. But he wants to be able to fight them in the free world, and he is willing to go to New Mexico, turn himself in. I've been in contact with his mother. And I guess just because of that lapse in timeline, it's kind of like why we're here, because, in part, if you have anything else to add, I think he just feels kind of screwed by the system on this. Is there anything else, Mr. Kimball, that I missed?
Nah, did she send the video to your phone? Oh, all right.
In 2023 alone, Mr. Kimball, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In one of the misdemeanor cases, you have presumably a bond at 5,010, which tells me that you've taken off on that case as well. You're on probation. You had a hold out of Dallas for, what did he have a hold out of Dallas for?
Violation.
Out of Dallas?
You're hopscotching with the states with the criminality,
No,
man.
I got them. Look, I had all the cases together and they gave me probation in Houston and Dallas. See, that's what you don't know. They dismissed a bunch of them cases has been dismissed. And I've been to trial twice. A bunch of them cases has been expunged on that record right there that you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But they gave me probation in Dallas and Houston. Dallas supposed to transfer my probation to Houston. They did not transfer my probation to Houston. That's how I get a violation in Dallas. I never violated by kissing any new case. The only time I caught a case is when for the New Mexico, say something happened in a family violence 2024. I'd never even been to New Mexico. The girl wrote a statement on me saying that I violated whatever. I understand. I know I don't supposed to tell you nothing, but I got videos. She's saying everything that she said is a lie. I don't even supposed to be having the case for I wouldn't even supposed to come to jail for that case. She has the videos in her phone. She can show you. She's showing her ID, everything, made in a whole statement saying that everything that she said to me in New Mexico is a lie, bro. I'm just dry getting hold for this case.
We really.
I understand it.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, sir. I understand it.
It seems to me.
Yes, sir.
You get out, you pick up a new case. You're out, you just picked up a new credit card abuse 2 weeks ago. December 22nd, maybe 3 weeks ago, you just picked up another case. You're on probation in Houston. You're on probation in Dallas.
Sir.
You got an open case in New Mexico.
Yes, sir.
I can't possibly give you a bond, Mr. Kimball. You know, I think that I need to protect my community. And if I give you a bond, I'm scared that something else is going to happen. I don't want you to pick up a 6th or 7th case, you know?
I ain't pick up a case. I came to jail for a case a year ago for New Mexico. I was already on probation.
Picked up.
No, they just put a
Credit card.
case on me while I was in
Nah.
custody. I didn't never get caught for anything. They just put a case on me while I've been in custody right now. This time, waiting on New Mexico and Dallas to come get me. They just put this case on me. They just put this on me.
I want to make sure that there are no more new cases get on you anymore. I'm not going to give you a bond because, Mr. Kimball, you scare me. You know, you do.
I never had an aggravated case. I never had an aggravated case in my life. You see my record. I never had an aggravated case.
I don't see, the only thing I see is
I'm saying
Harris.
everything you're saying. I never had an aggravated case out of Harris County, Dallas, anywhere in Texas, ever. Ever.
I believe you, but it's just way too much baggage, dude. Way too much.
But I'm saying you can't just set a bond on the case. And when I go to court, you know what I'm saying? I talk to my other judge. She give me a bond on them cases or whatever, where I can go handle everything that I need to handle so I can get out and be with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't, so say if they do set the bond when I go to court, because he's going to give me a court date in like a week or two. I'm going to go to court. They're going to set a bond for me. So they set a bond. Now I got to come back to your courtroom again for you to say, oh, well, I'm not going to give you a bond or whatever. They got 14 days to come get me. When actually I really supposed to already been gone to either Dallas or New Mexico because they called me ATW twice and they said they was not going to come get me. And we called to New Mexico. New Mexico said they didn't have any knowledge of me even being in jail on their warrant.
Is New Mexico, have they stated that they're going to come get him?
Our indication at this time is that they want him, Judge.
Okay, they're going to come get you. You know, the problem is that 14 days is told because you've not made bond on those cases upstairs. Once you do make bond at that point, that will get the 14 days for New Mexico to come get you. But Mr. Kimball, you've got a ton of priors. You're on probation in two different counties. You got to, okay, regardless, it's too much baggage. I'm not going to give you a bond. You scare me, dude. That's it. Really. You know, sometimes the bill comes due. Now is that time. It's not going to happen anymore. Okay, thanks.